come back in about 45 minutes, I'll be through. Timber! Yeah. So I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take this, which is pretty much going to be the size of the toadstool anyway, I think. So if I'm going to draw it round and try and make that billet that's kind of like triangular shape into more of a round shape all the way down, and then I'll put a little saw cut round it and then I'll split it up from there. So, this is the guide, plus it helps us get rid of that centre pith anyway. So. Like I said, the blue axe was the rough one, this one's the pretty one. Did have this cut nice and flat, but obviously it's dried out a little bit and it's kind of domed a little bit, so I just want to try and hollow out a little bit in the middle so it sits on the outside. Probably hear in the background the dog's dying to come out and help. Come on. You still got a necklace on, look. Kids have made. And I think proper technique goes, see how we want to take obviously that off there, is that you start at the bottom, making lots of little small cuts all the way up, and then you can just clean them. So there. Essentially what you're doing is you're just cutting through the grain. And then when the axe goes in, it follows the grain up until each little cut, and it breaks off at naturally breaks off at all them little stops that you've put in. Also, you can probably tell I'm holding the axe quite close to the end. Obviously, when I'm doing them incisions and trying to create them little stop cuts, I'll hold it further down because I want a little bit more power going in. But then when I come to clean it off, I want a bit more control, so I hold it a little bit closer. So that's control, that's power. That's what we're trying to end up with on the top, like that. But obviously that we want that to kind of go down. If it follows the grain a little bit, that's good for us. ain't too important, this part, because obviously we're going to slim that right the way down to kind of maybe, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch down. So I'm kind of happy with that really. See, obviously there's our one end, there's the other end. It's a little bit thicker in the middle, but that's going to help us because it's obviously going to be a dome. So. Remind you of anything? A mushroom, yeah? Got anything? In essence, that's what we're going to be ending up with. So that's the shape we're aiming at anyway. So.
What are you doing?
Cuddling it. So that's, I think, roughly the shape of what I'm going to have the head of the mushroom, sort of like that. I do want this underside of the mushroom to go up on an angle, same way as which a mushroom does, but I'll probably have to do that afterwards. So the plan is now, if I can run a saw cut all the way around there, following that line roughly, and then this end, I can draw a circle on this end and I can split down to that line and these bits will just come off. So I don't know whether this is the best saw for a job. Best part about it is I've got a lovely voice in there, but this is just a lot more nice doing it in the sunshine.
You're hardly in the sun.
Listen, it's got up in the head, I can't believe it. Doing it in the voice. Back in a minute. See how much easier that was? You might be wondering more from the last clip, there's twice as many shavings. Want to explain, Jode?
Because I had to make Jackson's sandwich,
The kids needed feeding.
so basically carried on.
And now the kid sat up there feeding, and looks like he's feeding.
I gave them my crust.
That bit you don't want? Found it off the other blanks while I was waiting. So yeah, basically, I've cut that stop line all the way around, and I've drawn a small circle on the end, which is roughly how big I want the stalk to be. Should go down to that stop line there, and obviously stop. So we're just going to split all the way around. Like I said, it's got a bit of a curve in it, and we want it to follow that. I think that'll look quite nice. Do I need to say the painfully obvious bit that this is sharp and you've got to keep your fingers out of the way? Do you reckon people will work that out by themselves when they cut the digit off?
Have you cut yourself yet?
To be honest, I'm pretty new to the carving thing, but I've only had one tiny nick, which I nicked myself. Apart from that, I cut my favourite pair of jeans, so I was a bit gutted about that. I caught it with a hook knife, but I've been pretty lucky so far, I think. If you want safe working practices, I'm probably not the guy to ask. But the basic bits that I do know is, if you're swinging like this, you don't want to have your feet here. If you miss, obviously that ain't going to be good. your legs will end up matching the trainers then. So I think whichever the line you're swinging in, you don't want your body in the way. That's why I sit on this box, because it's the right height. My legs are at 90 degrees, and if I do miss, I'm coming through, I'm not hitting any of my legs. And then they normally say that you don't want to come more than halfway up the workpiece. So obviously if you're holding here and you're chopping down here and this axe doesn't come high enough to catch your fingers in, if you don't come high enough to catch your fingers, you can't catch your fingers, do you know what I mean? So there is an element that you just got to use your brain a little bit. Beauty about this hobby, it's a no rush deal, you know what I mean? Do one of these, attack a week, it's just fine.
That looks really funny. Lift that up. Huh?
Lift that up. What are you trying to say? Huh? You're being silly again.
It's starting to look like a mushroom.
Get in there now. So the general gist, the idea, the axe will take out a lot more material than the knife, well, a lot faster and a lot easier, a lot less effort. So we want to kind of rough out our shape as close as we can get it with this, and then fine tune it with a knife. Some people use grinders and sanders and stuff like that, but it's not that way. How many people do you think I'll get telling me I'm doing it wrong?
Don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? Everybody has their own way of doing things.
Yep. I'm not saying it like I'm bothered, don't worry. I definitely don't think you should take what I say as gospel, because I don't know what I'm on about. I've just picked up something that spikes my interest a little bit. Just kind of ran with it. Bought an axe. Yeah. Sorry about that, dog was having a cracking dream. What's going on? I think that's the dog's way of saying that I am full of it. He's agreeing with me. Just to try and create a tiny bit of light entertainment.
While we're on lockdown.
While we're on lockdown, well, we can't go anywhere. So we just thought we'd film a 3-hour video on how to carve a mushroom. That's probably how long it's going to be. Oh, you're going to have some editing to do, Gil. Because I can't use a computer. I wonder how brummy we sound. That's the other thing. Every time I hear myself back on a video, I think, God, don't I sound brummy? Not that that's a bad thing, because we salt the earth.
That's looking good now.
You ain't even seen the knife yet.
Huh?
You ain't even seen the knife yet. Okay, so quite happy with the size of it. Don't worry about that. You know, at the start of this video when I said, yeah, I've got to look at it, I've really cut myself, and I think, well, I'm kind of doing this and I'm scratching a bit off, and I've gone like that and I've cut my finger. What a prat. But it's alright, we put some tape on it. You know, when you do something really, really good, and then when you get somebody to film you can't do it. Similar to that really, isn't it? You say to everyone, oh yeah, I ain't really cut myself, you know, I've been pretty good. 10 minutes later, you cut your finger off. But on a plus point, it was me just going past like this and slicing myself, not. So. it and cut it underneath. Ain't far off now, no, ain't. Almost ready for a bit of clean up. But nah. I'm trying to keep the blade pointing away from my hands all the time. See, it's pointing sort of that direction. Obviously my hand's back here, so I'm trying to limit an accident. Obviously there's no guarantee you're not going to clip yourself every now and again, but get a knife, clean that bit down. So when I said you can pretty much, if you want to start doing a little bit of carve and get away with a couple of basic tools, these are the three. Like I said, I paid this, I think was around about, I'm pretty sure it was shy of 20 quid. See, I think that was 20, one of these was about 20, and I think that one was about 25. So this one is a hook knife. So it's for carving, if you're doing spoons and stuff like that, it's for carving the bowls out. I mean, I've carved, like I said, all the inside of these out with one of these. So yeah, so you can get one of these. I think they're about 25 quid. I think I got mine off eBay. I can't remember what the number is. I think it's a 164 or something like that. A Mora 164 hook knife. I think they do a right and a left-handed, so if that matters, you need to make sure you get the right one. And then this one I think is pretty much a staple of a lot of carvers. I think you see this one's a Mora 106. I'll tell you what, I mean, I haven't had much to compare it to, but they come razor sharp, you know, and for me they're really good quality. And then all you're really going to need then is one of these, which I've made this one. I've just got a little bit, I've got some oak left over from a job that I did, and then I've got, you want a hardwood really, because obviously it'll be, when you want it relatively slim, but obviously a hardwood or static will be a lot more rigid. And then I've got an old belt, and I've basically super glued it onto the top, and then you just put a bit of cutting compound on there. And then this is just for keeping your knife sharp. I mean, if you keep on top of it, you'll never have to grind or do anything like that. The good thing about these, they've got like I think it's called a Scandinavian grind, which is just really quite wide. So when you, for sharpening, for easy sharpening, it's brilliant, and you can literally, you can feel it go flat on there. And then it's just a case of, and then just alternating the sides. And like I said, if you keep on top of that, it stays super sharp. This is the tedious part of the whole thing, the rest of it's pretty easy. Oh, did she still build that? If you are watching this video and you've decided you want to do a little bit of carving and get a couple of, like I said, like a couple of knives or whatever, probably a good idea to watch some like safe cutting technique tutorials on YouTube. There's some people that do some really good ones on there, so probably not a good idea to work on my style if you end up with one of them. Like I said, this is the kind of awkward bit because you're going across the end grain. Like I said, I could do with a knife that's a slightly different size to this one, but it ain't got to be the smoothest of finishes. You ain't even going to see it because it's going to be up that way, but I'll pretend I know what I'm on about and I want to explain a couple of grips. These are I've probably got 2, 3, maybe even 4 favourites. This is this one where you're using the knife in like a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of like a scissory type thing, and then use your thumb as a little bit of kind of either leverage, or use it to push as a little bit of backup when you're doing a little bit of fine thing. I mean, the ideal thing about this grip is everything's behind the knife, so you can't cut yourself, because you can't cut yourself on the blunt end, can you? So that's one. Another one, when you're trying to take off quite a lot, is the chest lever. So it's like similar to this, where you're doing like a scissoring motion. You're doing the same sort of thing, but you're doing using your chest for your power. So you're kind of like that, and again, everything's behind. That's another one when you're trying it like this. And then the other one, when the grain's going a bit, the knife's trying to run with the grain, sometimes you've got to come back on yourself. And then obviously this one, you want to keep tight into your chest. And then this one, I mean, it looks dangerous because obviously the sharp end of the knife's coming towards you, but you know, you kind of your movement's limited by your chest because you're under tension. And all you got to do is just read the t-shirt. Believe in yourself.
Oh, you're making a mushroom?
Making a mushroom, yeah?
Looks
What
really
about?
good. No, I don't like mushroom.
Oh, Jackson's mushroom eater, isn't he?
Yeah.
One magic mushroom. Jobs are good. One down. I'll do them other ones, and then I'll I don't know, maybe take a little video and you can see when I'll probably film it, to be fair, and we drill it and put them in the stump or something. But here's one. Well, I think he's come out quite nice. I mean, it's one of them you could sit there forever and you could let it dry out a little bit, and because this is obviously still green, you could let it dry out a little bit. You can sand it all super smooth if that's how you roll, but I like that kind of tooled finish. I think it adds to it. So that's one. Welcome back to another day in paradise. Well, it's another day for us, but in the video terms, it's just going to be the same day for you, hopefully. That's the one I done on the camera, that one, and obviously we scalloped it out underneath, and these are the other ones I've done. Just bashed them out quick time, just so I've got the set. The one thing I did do different on these, obviously I did the underside there, and it was a little bit of a mission, to be honest, with the longer knife that I've got. Well, I've actually got this set of little gouges which I use when I'm just doing the carving, like little tiny stuff, and I've actually used that on the underside because I found that was a lot easier. I mean, it's not the best thing to be balancing it on your leg in case you slip, and I basically used this and I went all the way around to scallop out the bottom because it was just a lot easier to clean out where I got up to the stalk. So that's basically what I did on the other ones. So you can do it with a knife if that's all you've got, but like I said, I had this to hand, so I thought I'd try and make my life a little bit easier and speed it up, being as I had a few of them to do. So that's them anyway, all done. So now what we're going to do is, I've got the other half of the log. The plan is, I'm going to round it off a little bit just on the corner so it doesn't look like a normal sawn corner. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, and then basically what I'm planning on doing is drilling the holes, and I'll carve them into a peg the same size as the hole that I'm going to drill, and then I'm going to glue them so that they stand in different places. I don't know about the layout yet, I ain't decided, but in essence like that, so that they all stand up. And then in our front garden we've got a section where I've put the wood chip down on the floor, just to basically to finish it off in between the slabs and the planters and stuff. So I think this will look quite nice sat in the wood chip with the mushrooms growing out of it. So one there. that for nearly fitting straight off the bat. That was a fluke, wasn't it?
That's it. Use that way.
Good at that, yeah?
Can you turn around a bit more?
If we try and keep the prettier side facing all the way.
But that's better because it's going up.
Yeah, because it's probably going to sit like that, isn't it? That look good? Layout's going to be down to the beautiful camera girl. And at least it looks crap, don't you? So what you're saying then, just one. I'm thinking if it's going to sit like that, yeah. And you look
I thought
at
you
it,
was having it the other way.
and you can have it however way you want, and then you decide. I'll give you all the power I am.
Why would you have all the power?
That is true. What you're saying then?
Yeah, so closer to it, I think.
You want them kissing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've got
That's
to cuddle
sweet,
in
isn't it?
like that. So you want what treatment?
I think closer to it.
Closer to it and straight up. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? Oh, I love this type of woodwork. Just guess in. Oh, you ain't far off neither. Tell you what, get that in there.
I think he should be facing the other one. Like kind of bended into it. Yeah, actually that one looks good, alright.
Yeah. I can't believe these are just fitting straight in. It's like a miracle. He might look better in there anyway.
Why is it a he?
Well, it's him and the three bitches. Blaming you now if it looks crap, haven't I?
Do it a spin. No, I mean the whole thing.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da. I think that was quite good, do you reckon?
Yeah, it's cute.
Not bad for a first time carving a mushroom anyway. It's a new one on the list of stuff. Tell everybody what you just said. Tell them.
What did I say? That your executive decision was a good one.
Say it again.
Your executive decision was a good one.
Yeah.
Is that because I don't say that very often?
I don't say that very often. To be honest, it's not true very often either, is it really? Like a superhero then, he had the curtain over his head. So, yeah. What the situation with this garden is, it was the last thing really in the house to do on our list of things to do. And then we sold the house, so we weren't going to bother, but being as we've been locked down before, we'll clean it up a little bit, plant some stuff in some boxes, so if we do end up leaving we can take it with us. Plus it gives me somewhere to get rid of all my chickens. As you can see, I've got a few there. I've already ripped the bark off, and they're going to be my next projects. If you think it's a good video, then you want to put some, and you want to say, oh yeah, it's really nice and all that, yeah, then that's fantastic. I'm just new to this whole thing. I just thought it might be quite nice, being as I've watched so many YouTube videos and got so many different ideas about different things on there, to maybe try and give a few ideas back. So, until the next one. we're having a retake because we weren't so sure we put it in the right place. I'm not so sure. You better that,
Take number 3.
Doing it again. This is the 3rd rerun. This is. Still don't look right there. So you can just about make our circle that we started with. Take 2. If you're sitting around bored and you're locked down and you're locked in a little bit of woodwork, then yes, good hobby. I mean, I think I paid 20 quid for that axe. And then I've got 2 knives, well, a hook knife and a normal knife for 20 quid. 20 quid a piece-ish. That's good, 60 quid, you're up and running. Right, we're gonna have to cut the video because thanks for watching!